I don't feel like myself anymore. If you've said those words, even just quietly to yourself, in the car, in the shower, or at 2 a.m. when you couldn't sleep, this video is for you. Because there are real reasons this happens. Specific, understandable, fixable reasons, and I'm gonna walk you through them today. Here's what I hear from women in their 40s and 50s, more than almost anything else. I look at my life and it looks great on the outside. I should be happy, but I feel like a stranger in it. Like I'm going through the motions of a life that was built for someone I'm not sure I am anymore. And then almost always they add, I don't know who I am without my roles. Being the partner, the spouse, the mother, the wife, the business owner, the employee, the professional, the one who holds it all together. Strip those away, and the question underneath is terrifying. Who am I actually? If that question scares you, good. That means you're asking the right thing. It also means you're not broken, you're not having a crisis, you are having an internal reckoning. And there's a difference. So today I want to show you 3 specific reasons why this happens and why women in midlife suddenly feel like strangers to themselves and what you can actually do about it. So let's start with reason number 1. Reason number 1 is what I call living from the outside in. Most of us were taught very early on to figure out what success looks like from the outside and then shape ourselves to fit in it. What does a good daughter look like? What does a successful woman look like? What does a good mother, a good wife, a good employee look like? And we got very, very good at it. We adapted, we achieved, we performed. But here's the thing about building a self from the outside in. Eventually, the outside stops fitting. The life you built for who you were at 30 doesn't always fit who you're becoming at 45 or 50. The roles that once gave you identity start to feel like a costume. And you look in the mirror and think, when did I stop being the main character of my own life? That's outside in living catching up with you. And it's the first reason you don't feel like yourself, because the self you've been performing was never quite yours to begin with. Number 2, your nervous system is running an old program. Reason number 2 is one that most people, even therapists, don't talk about enough. Your nervous system is running a program that was written a long time ago. Here's what I mean. When you were young, a child, a teenager, a young woman, learning how the world works, your nervous system was paying very close attention. It was learning what keeps me safe, what gets me love, what happens when I speak up, what happens when I shrink. And it built a program, a way of being in the world that made complete sense then. Stay small, stay responsible, don't need too much, keep everyone comfortable. That program kept you safe, but you're not that version of you anymore. The problem is your nervous system didn't get the update. It's still running that old program even though you've outgrown it. So you feel stuck in patterns you can't explain. You react in ways that surprise you. You know intellectually what you want, but something in your body won't let you have it. That's not weakness, that's not self-sabotage. That's a nervous system doing exactly what it was designed to do, protect you. And that's the second reason you don't feel like yourself, because the self you've been protecting yourself into isn't the one that's trying to emerge. 3, you have never been given permission to ask the real question. Most women have never been given permission to ask the real question. It's not how can I be a better version of who I've been, past tense, but who am I becoming, future tense, and what does she actually need, present tense. We are trained from very young to orient around everyone else's needs. What does my family need? What does my job need? What does my partner need? The question, what do I need, can feel selfish, indulgent, wrong, so we end up not asking it. And when you spend decades, literally decades, not asking what you need, not listening to what's true for you, not honoring the quiet voice underneath all the noise, you lose that thread back to yourself. Not because you did something wrong, because nobody told you that your inner world deserved the same attention you were giving everyone else. So, those are the 3 reasons. Outside in living, an old nervous system program, and never having been given permission to ask the real question. What do I need? Now, I want to give you something you can actually use right now. I want to give you a simple practice. You can do this right now while you're watching. I call it the inner listening practice. It takes about 60 seconds, and it's one of the most powerful things I know for reconnecting with yourself. First, put one hand on your chest, right here, and just feel the warmth of your hand. Feel your heartbeat if you can. Now take one slow breath in through your nose and let it out through your mouth. Good. Now with your hands still on your chest, ask yourself this one question, not out loud, just internally. What do I need now? What do I need right now that I have not been giving myself? Don't edit the answer, don't judge, don't decide if it's reasonable, just notice what comes up. Whatever comes up at that moment, it's not random, it's your inner self getting a word in. That's the thread back to you. And the more you practice pausing long enough to ask, the louder that voice gets, the clearer it becomes. This is what inside out living looks like in its most basic form. Turning your attention inward before you turn it outward. It sounds simple, and it is, but simple is not the same as easy, especially when you spent decades doing the opposite. The reason I teach this as a starting point is because you cannot think your way back to yourself. You literally have to feel your way back. And that starts with creating just a little bit of space in your body, in your day, to actually listen. So if you've been walking around thinking something is wrong with you, if you've been comparing your insides to everyone else's outsides, and you're wondering why you're the only one who feels this way, I want to offer you something different. You are not lost. You are in transition. There is a version of you, quieter, truer, more fully yours, that is trying to emerge right now. She has been waiting patiently while you handled everything else. And midlife is the moment she finally gets loud enough to hear. Don't dismiss her. She's the one who knows the way home. If today's video resonated, here are 3 ways to go deeper. First, subscribe. I post videos like this every week. Real tools, real talk for women who are ready to stop living from the outside in. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss one. Second, I have a free guide that walks through the complete REALIGN method, the 7 steps I use with women to come back to themselves from the inside out. The link is in the description. It's completely free, so go grab it. And third, if you're at the point where you know something has to change and you don't want to figure it out alone, I have a link to book a free 20-minute call with me. No pitch, no pressure, just a real conversation to see if working together makes sense. You've been carrying this quietly for a while. You don't have to keep doing that. I'll see you in the next video.